This is a world where people are starving in the streets. This is a world where people are killing each other for our entertainment. So his whole thing here is, how do we protect the general public? How can I rule and control to keep people safe? And this is his Achilles heel in terms of morality, is he's an opportunist.
And we need the Hunger Games to remind us all who we truly are.
This is what happens when you create an environment where every action is just about survival.
And who are you? Do you determine?
The victor.
This is power. It's, I can make the world follow my design.
Snow lands on top.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. This is
Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs therapy in some ways because of the Hunger Games franchise.
We're going to be talking today about Coriolanus. Anus. We're going to be talking about Coriolanus Snow, doing a little bit of a villain therapy on him. The fact is, in the original Hunger Games series, there's not a lot of therapy to do.
He's a cartoon villain.
He's a cartoon villain played to perfection by Donald Sutherland. But the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes shows us kind of the inverse of Katniss. Katniss holds on to her morality and compassion in a world that's just falling apart, whereas Coriolanus Snow is somebody who starts with empathy and compassion and turns away from the light and contributes to the world falling apart. So we're going to be looking at how to keep the light inside you alive or bring it back. And what I would tell him to do at every step of the way, because he keeps making wrong decisions.
He does not that.
That boy ain't right.
Oh, did you find the potatoes? I boiled them for the starch, and you should really eat something today.
Save them for Grandma.
You look so handsome.
Wealthy family falling into poverty, pretending to still be wealthy.
Coriolanus Snow, future president of Panem. We salute you.
Just a moment.
Grandma.
I can grow plenty more after today.
Got the grades. Never missed class. 10 years.
Got the hair.
Even Dean Highbottom can't deny us this now.
Dean doesn't hate
He
you.
hates everyone.
Highbottom does a lot of squats. That's why it's so high.
What's the first thing you'll spend the prize money on? New dress? Chocolate.
Chocolate.
It's the plinth prize, Tigers. We'll be able to pay the rent. Snow lands on top.
Okay, the number of snow puns. Snow falls gently. Snow lands on top.
It's a lot. Snow lands on top, though, as far as family mottos go. Pretty fucking baller.
Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say?
So they're from a wealthy family in the capital that has fallen into poverty, but he's maintaining the illusion of wealth so he can make it through this prep school. Win the plinth prize, top student gets the plinth prize, and finally provide for his family. We see him as somebody who loves his nana, loves his cousin, and knowing where he arrives later on, I, for one, my curiosity was piqued of, well, how's he going to get there? He's
How
a
does he
decent
get
kid.
to be that guy?
Look, making excuses or putting off going to the doctor,
Is like sending water to your tribute that then explodes.
in both cases, does more harm than good, so no more making excuses or putting things off when it comes to your health.
That's why you should check out ZocDoc. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor near you, there's no excuse to put it off.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors.
Choose the one that's right for you.
And click instantly to book your appointment.
Faster than you can say Lucy Gray.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty.
From mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and so much more.
And when you're searching for a doctor, you can filter for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and who treat basically any condition you're searching for. I'm not sure, but I think that also includes tracker jacker poisoning.
Probably. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, which is useful for the aforementioned tracker jacker.
You can even score same-day appointments.
If I need to find a new doctor, I'm going to use ZocDoc to find and book great doctors near me.
Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/cinematherapy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/cinematherapy.
know my mentor? Says his name is CORIOLANUS Snow, and clearly I got the cake with the cream because nobody else has even bothered to show up.
Put the tributes in the zoo.
The game makers did tell you to jump in the cage with them.
They didn't tell me not to. They just said that it was a mentor's job to introduce our tributes to the citizens of Pan Am. And I thought, well, if Lucy Gray is brave enough to be here, then why shouldn't I be too?
For the record, I didn't have a choice.
For the record, I think you're about to be whisked away, young man. Let's go.
Well, hey, get us some food, please. Just when I haven't eaten since the reaping.
The 10th annual Hunger Games are soon approaching. So come down to the zoo and see these tributes before it's too late. And I mean, too late. For Capital News, I'm Lucretius Lucky Flickerman.
Okay, you cannot replace Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
But if you got to try, Jason Schwartzman's a pretty good backup.
But guess where I am today? Here's a hint. That's right, the Capitol Zoo.
Well, especially as like an ancestor of Stanley Tucci's character.
Yeah.
It's perfect casting.
It is perfect casting, and he's so good. So good in this. Like, every time Lucky Flickerman's on screen, I'm just like, yay! More of this! I want a whole TV show that's just following Lucky Flickerman around, trying to deal with, oh, I guess I'm the face of this horrible genocide. Well, here we go!
Yeah, this murder show.
The children watching, that was violent, horrific, and disgusting. Miss Phipps, please, if you're going to vomit, do it off camera.
So at this point, he's initially motivated by self-interest. Well, and for his family, provide for his family. But he does take a special interest in Lucy Gray. This is a case of him seeing a kindred spirit. She is also poor. Mm-hmm. She is also starving. She is also struggling. And he wants to do right by her. So far, a pretty compassionate character. But this is going to start this tug of war between self-interest and compassion.
Right.
And it's not going to go well by the end of the movie.
The Capitol is supposed to be everyone's government now. It is supposed to protect all of us. I don't see how making children fight each other to the death is protecting anyone.
That sort of sympathy might interfere with your mentoring assignment.
I love Viola Davis, just like...
Oh my gosh, she just eats in this movie.
Perhaps the game's time has passed.
Dino, I bought him was wrong. My classmates, too. Maybe Sejanus is onto something here. Maybe we should be viewing those tributes as human beings. When you saw those kids in the zoo, they just wanted to get to know Lucy Gray. If we need people to watch, we should be letting them get closer to the tributes before the games, to make the stakes personal.
Who will watch the games if they care what happens to the tributes?
Everyone. If they thought the tribute they cared about had a chance of winning. People need someone to root for and someone to root against. We need them to invest. And if we bend a few capital laws, we could even have them place bets. Look, I know Lucy Gray may not win in the arena, but if you give her a chance, I would bet the Plinth Prize that she can win people's attention.
I'd like you to write up a proposal of these thoughts tonight, Mr. Snow.
Viola Davis is one of the greats. She's so good. And this is such a weird departure for her. Like, often she's playing, you know, really interesting dramatic characters that have a difficult choice and whatever. And here she's playing...
Take that!
Viola Davis usually plays, you know, really interesting, complex, deep, but believable characters.
Yeah.
And here, she's pretty much playing a cartoon. A mad scientist, and she's just living it. I'm so here for it.
Coriolanus has his best friend who is lobbying for the basic human rights of these tributes. And Coriolanus sees here an opportunity. And this is his Achilles heel in terms of morality, is he's an opportunist. We should get the audience to care about these young people, but not for their benefit, not to save them, but so I can get the Plinth Prize, and so I can stand out and make the games more successful. This is what happens when you create an environment where every action is just about survival.
And you make it a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Right? He is struggling to survive. The only way he can see to survive is to win this Plinth Prize. And the only way he can do that is the rules have been changed. It's no longer about grades. It's who can have the most success as a mentor. Well, if that's my job to get my thing, you put me in a bad system, I'm still smart. I'm going to figure out how to make that system work for me.
Right.
But if the system is bad,
Well, and that's something that really worked for me, is that the story has no easy answers.
Yeah.
For example, is it wrong to cheat when this society is immoral? Do you rise above with personal integrity, or do you do whatever you need to do to survive? And I really like that it just kind of leaves it for the audience.
And 99 out of 100 people are going to do what they need to do to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, when you boil it all down, when people get hungry, we're all kind of animals.
Aw, put it there, pal. I can't let you die. You saved me. You saved me, Lucy Gray.
I'm sorry. I'm more hopeful during the daytime, but when it gets dark,
It's okay.
Because before it was about him and his motivations and what he wanted.
I am gonna get you out of here. I promise.
But now,
Back to the Gavi, okay?
he's risking himself and his family for her. Yeah.
His character is super interesting for this first half or more of the movie. I really dug it.
Well, and during that first half is when he's at his most malleable.
Yeah.
Right? Because he does some dark, twisted, messed up things like, hey, let's get people to care about the tributes before we massacre them on TV. But at the same time, he risks himself to give her this poison.
Yeah, he falls for his own trap, right?
Yeah.
He starts caring about Lucy Gray.
The film doesn't explain why he doesn't kiss her. In my mind, if he kisses her and she dies, like, he's that much more invested, and he has to keep some sort of distance. But it doesn't tell you what to think, which I think is really cool.
I like a little bit of drama.
Who could imagine Crassus Snow's baby boy fighting for his life in the arena one day?
The production design in this movie is really great. Her wardrobe is amazing.
Yeah.
Humanity undressed. Fueled with the terror of becoming prey. See how quickly we become predator? See how quickly civilization disappears?
Those tributes don't have a choice.
I was talking about you. All your fine manners, education, background stripped away in the blink of an eye, leaving a boy with a club who beats another boy to death to stay alive. You want to protect people, Mr. Snow, to govern them like your father, then it's essential you accept what human beings are and what it takes to control them.
I love a good, cynical devil on your shoulder. In this case,
Literally
a red dress.
I didn't even notice that. Holy crap.
It's a devil on your shoulder whispering things in your ear about what people are.
Don't listen to that guy. He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
It's very cynical. It's very dark. But in the world that they live in, you can see why he would buy into it. This is a world where people are starving in the streets. This is a world where people are killing each other for our entertainment. His whole thing here is, how do we protect the general public? How can I rule and control to keep people safe? First of all, they have to be scared of power so that they stay in line. The trains have to run, the factories have to work. In his mind, this is how society works for the greater good of all. And then you have to sacrifice some people for the entertainment or the fear or the emotional investment of the viewing populace. You get them drawn into that instead of focusing on how messed up the government is and everything that we're doing.
It's the authoritarian playbook.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
They sent me into the arena tonight, Tigers.
What?
To get Sejanus out.
What happened? Are you okay?
I killed one of the tributes. A boy.
It must have been awful.
It was. And it felt powerful.
Corio, I know you want to be like your father, but what I remember the most about him was that in his eyes, it was just a hit. You don't have to pay the same price just to survive. People can be good. You can be good. You are good. Just believe in that.
You know, I'm an optimistic person. Obviously, I mean, if you watch the show, I'm an optimistic person. I believe in the goodness and decency of people. I think of the Joker in The Dark Knight when he talks about people are only as good as the world allows them to be, right? If you start tearing away the structures, people are going to eat each other, you know, to survive. And it takes a certain amount of, I don't know what it is, backbone, grit, heroism. There are people who would give their lives rather than extinguish their light. They would say, I'm not going to become that. I'd rather die. And I want to extend grace and understanding to people who become things they never thought that they would become just to survive. And I'm not just talking about hunger. I'm also talking about relationships. I'm talking about emotions. I'm talking about any number of people who I've had in my office who've been traumatized by something in their upbringing, traumatized by people that they dated, were married to, whatever. And they became something that they hated because it kept them alive. And the healing process, since we're doing villain therapy, and let's say I've got Coriolanus in my office now, and he's just taken the life of a young boy. If he were in my office, we'd have the police there, but it's a different universe. We're just dealing with the psychology of it, of making peace with what you did was self-defense. What worries me is not that you took a life to save your life and the life of your friend. What worries me is that you recognize that it felt powerful. What Tigers is trying to do is what I would do in therapy. I mean, she goes straight for, in your father's eyes, there was hate. Don't become your father. People can be good. You can be good. And I would echo some of that. But the questions that I would ask Coriolanus in this moment is, okay, so you recognized and acknowledged this dyad of feelings, that you feel horrified about what you did and what happened, but you also feel powerful. The real question is, what do you do with that?
Right.
I've met with any number of people who've been deeply disturbed by the thoughts that they've had or the feelings that they've had, and they're worried about who they are or what they can become. And the greatest truth I can share with anybody is you are who you choose to be. The simple fact that you have urges to harm, urges to lash out, or, you know, listen, I'm a dad. Sometimes my kids are brats. There have been times where I've yelled at my kids, they back down, and I feel powerful, and I'm like, that's right. And I'm like, I'm a badass dad. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh no.
I am the worst
I'm
person.
the worst. And then I go in and I make it, but that's the thing is I go in and I make it right. And the simple fact that I felt that surge of power, okay, but am I going to chase that? Is that the type of father that I want to be? No, I want to be compassionate and approachable and safe. And so that's where I veer towards, and I can acknowledge that the other side exists. That doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make me evil. It just means I'm now aware of it, and I'm going to choose something else. So he's just served up his friend on a platter.
Yeah, he's been sent to be a lowly security guard out in the...
His friend was helping the rebels, and he sent his friend off, reported him, and his friend, well, you have to watch the movie, but I guess it's our show, spoilers. His friend got hanged.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so hot take, even as somebody who enjoys the Star Wars prequels, I feel like this movie did Anakin better, even though it's not even Anakin.
Oh, 100%.
What?
Now, this is later in the film, and he started to do more and more heinous things, but it still escapes him. This humanity, this guilt, this remorse. The issue is that guilt doesn't feel good.
Correct.
And neither does remorse. And you can do one of two things. You can suppress it, bury it, and even stamp it out so that you don't feel it anymore. Or you can use it to, I mean, he can't make things right because his friend's dead. But he can say, I went down this path and I don't want to go down this path anymore.
Right.
Because he has the rest of his life, just like all of us. How does he want to spend his days and who does he want to be?
I think there's a natural goodness born into us all. No, really. You can either cross that line into evil or not. And it's our life's work to stay on the right side of that line.
It's not always that simple.
I know. I'm a victor. Sure will be nice not to have to kill anyone else up north, though, huh?
3's enough for me.
I'm gonna make a walking stick.
She only knew about 2 that he had to kill.
You killed 3? Who's the third?
What?
Person you killed, Coriolanus. He said you killed 3 people. I only know about 2. Do not lie to me.
And those 2 were justified to her, but the third...
Help me get this
There
out.
was Bobbin in the arena in Mayfair. And who's the third?
My old self. I killed him so I could come with you.
He keeps trying to pretend for her that he is the good guy that she met, but he has been making decisions that she knows nothing about that are changing everything.
Well, and one of the things I love is we're getting right up to the end of the movie here, and he's still torn, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to go the path of the angels, escape with her, go off and live in the woods and just leave everything behind. He's not going to deal with the capital system anymore. And that's awesome. Like, I love that he's still torn, even though we've seen him, sliding down this slope the whole time. It's an interesting character study that we don't often get to see in big blockbuster filmmaking.
The audience wants to see action, adventure, wrestling, and plenty of it. They don't want to see a guy wrestling with his soul. Well, all right, a little bit for the critics.
So Coriolanus has several voices, several people that he listens to. He's got Lucy Gray, who, even though she's a victor, even though she's been in the freaking Hunger Games, she still maintains as much innocence and decency as she can.
Yeah.
Not because she's naive, but because she is clinging to it.
She's choosing to.
Yeah. And then he's got Tigris, his cousin, who believes in the innate goodness of people. He's got these 2 women in his life, and then there's a third woman, the game maker, and for whatever reason, he connects more with her. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, that's an interesting question. I think it's because she represents success in a way that he can physically see. Lucy Gray, sure, she survived.
Yeah.
Great. Tigris, sure, she's my cousin, love her. The games maker is success personified. This is power. It's not just, I have enough money to put food on the table and have a nice place to live. It's, I can make the world follow my design around me. And I think that is extremely attractive to him because he hasn't had that power at all.
And this is kind of an age-old question. I think the best life in my mind is to have security and comfort, right? But to balance that with maintaining your decency and integrity and doing right by other people. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, so often it's one or the other.
Yeah, you can maintain security and comfort by being indecent and terrible sometimes.
And that's something we got to fix. And by we, I don't mean just Alan and I. We're
going to do it.
So that's a question I have for all of you. What can we do to create more room for others to have security and have comfort while maintaining their decency? Just wanting to hear your ideas for change in the world.
But before I take you under my wing, after everything you've seen out there in the real world, let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
I used to think that the Hunger Games were punishment for the districts. Then I thought they served as a warning to us here in the capital about the threat the districts posed. Now I know the whole world is an arena. And we need the Hunger Games every year to remind us all who we truly are.
And who are you, do you determine?
The victor.
Welcome home, Mr. Snow.
And then this hard cut to this super symmetrical shot, and then him with the perfect hair and the perfect suit. That's fun. That's super fun.
The real sad truth about Coriolanus is I think he was smart enough and talented enough that he could have revolutionized the world he lived in.
Absolutely.
And instead he conformed himself to it. And that is the tragedy of it. So challenge for all of us is to not lose ourselves to the world, but rather to influence the world for good, which is, the yin to Katniss Everdeen's yang. Katniss Everdeen is the one who overhauls the system, and who influences the world for good. So until next time,
smile, it's why we have teeth.
Snow lands on top. And watch movies.
This show wouldn't happen without support from our patrons, people that get extended director's cuts, this one's pretty long, and lots of other great stuff that we do. That's some of its videos and some of its other things. Anyway, here we go. People like
Tim Rhodes,
Jari Gonzalez,
Black Screen, Andras Baloch,
hey, Siege 42,
Zoltan Nagy. Nagy?
I hope Sieges 0 through 41 went well.
Thanks, patrons.
Thank you.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Beautiful, Grandmam. Perhaps a little sharp today.
Oh,